Hello and welcome. You're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live interactive web television. This is the platform where all of you can engage and interact with us and be the voice as you speak and interact with us while we talk on various issues. You can write into us, you can send us your posts, your video comments. You can join our conversations live even while we are having them in our studios. You can of course send us your tweets at #IndiaPostLive and @IndiaPostLive. I'm Nilanjana Banerjee, and today we are going to talk about the latest controversy's favorite child, Veena Malik, seems to have gotten herself embroiled into. Veena Malik and her husband Asad Bashir Khan, as well as the owner of Jio TV, Mir Shakil ur Rahman, have been embroiled in a blasphemy case, and they have been sentenced to 26 years in prison by an anti-terrorism court in Pakistan. Now, this particular case was, regarding a show which was broadcast live on Jio TV, which belongs to Mir Shakil ur Rahman, which featured Veena Malik dancing with her new husband. It was a mock wedding, with her own, in fact, husband, while a group of Sufi musicians sang a devotional song about the wedding of Prophet Muhammad's daughter. A fine of 1.3 million Pakistani rupees have also been imposed on the three of them, and the court has said that if they are unable to pay off the money, their property must be sold. So what exactly is the reason for such a huge sentence? In fact, Veena Malik has expressed shock at this kind of a sentencing. She has said that she would appeal, but this story has definitely, social media has reacted to it very, very strongly. Before I introduce my online guest to you, I have 3 online guests joining us from Pakistan. Let's bring you some tweets, some reactions on Twitter that have done the rounds after the case came to light. Coming up on your screens right now. Even Pakistan does not give importance to idiots like Veena Malik, but we Indians do, is what Atul Tyagi has said. Suman Gangopadhyay, it is confusing. Either Veena Malik is blasphemous or blasphemous is the Veena Malik. The lying lama. So Veena Malik's husband has also been arrested for blasphemy. He should have already been arrested for marrying Veena Malik. One day, Pakistani courts will imprison themselves for blasphemy, says Shivam Vij. Keh ke pehno, Veena Malik should have got a jail term of at least a year for calling Ashmit as Asmit. I mean, that is asphemy, all right? The best part of Veena Malik's blasphemy case is it was tried in an anti-terrorism court. That's the park that we all love. Barkhadat and, Sudhindra Kulkarni loves. Laugh out loud. Okay. So Pakini, Veena Malik gets 26 years in prison for blasphemy. Ha ha ha. At least now morons from Bollywood should rush to her help. Only hope for Veena Malik in avoiding jail is to now becoming a Kashmiri separatist, says the Unreal Times. All right, those tweets, definitely some of them bordering on the nasty there. All right, let's head to our online guests now and take their reactions on this entire issue. Joining me from Dubai, I have Shamila Ghias Ahmed. Shamila is a writer and a blogger. And in fact, we have a very interesting article that we will bring you in a few minutes. We will discuss that. I'll introduce everyone first. Shamila, thank you for joining us on IndiaPostLive.com. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Great. I have from Lahore, Khuldun Kuwar Shahid. Khuldun Kuwar Shahid is web editor of The Nation and he joins us from Lahore. Hi. Welcome to India Post Live once again, Khuldun. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for inviting me once again.
Thank you so much. And from Sharjah, I have Mohsin Hijazi. Mohsin is a political commentator. Mohsin, thank you so much for joining us on India Post Live.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Let me start with you, Khuldun. What is your first reaction when this case came out? And the first question that I have for you, besides your reaction, is how come an anti-terrorism court is sentencing Veena Malik? 2 questions.
I think first of all, let's state the obvious that Veena Malik is no stranger to controversy.
I called
But
her
in this
controversy's
particular
favorite child.
case, exactly. But in this particular case, she's actually the collateral damage.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just a subplot. She's been involved in a really sorry media war between two of the largest media groups in Pakistan.
Right.
So in this case, even though Veena Malik is the most prominent name, but it's really a lot bigger than that, and the controversy runs deep into the state. It involves the establishment, it involves a lot of the religious groups, and Veena Malik is just has just become the face of the news. And I mean, regarding the second question, anti-terrorism court, it's just another absurd ruling. Anything and everything related to the blasphemy law in Pakistan has an absurd. I mean, there's something absurd going on regarding blasphemy, and it's just another one of those things.
All right. Have you watched that show? Have you seen that show where she was in that wedding video, and in fact she was getting wedded to her own husband, and there was this music playing in the backdrop. Now,
Yep.
blasphemy. The dictionary term for blasphemy is irreverence to something religious. It is an utterance,
Yep.
an impious utterance, or an impious action against something concerning God or concerning religion. Do you agree with the court verdict, and do you agree with the sentencing of 26 years?
Not at all. Obviously,
Not at all.
I mean, the first thing we need to realize is that the person who filed the case,
Huh.
I mean, a member of the Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat, the person himself has been accused of murder and killing as well. That's something that needs to be highlighted. And the Qawwali, or the song in question, is something that is played regularly in a lot of the weddings in Pakistan, a lot
Right.
of a particular religious sect.
All right.
So obviously there was nothing blasphemous about it. And the irony is that the channel that accused Geo of blasphemy played the same song multiple times on their own show, hence committing. I mean, if you're going to go down into the nitty-gritties, they committed blasphemy themselves. So
Right.
it's just absurd. Like I said, the
It's
whole merry-go-round is
absurd.
absolutely absurd.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Those were your opening comments, Khuldoon. I'll come back to you because I need to ask you the larger question. You have already hinted that there is a larger issue going on here, and obviously I'm sensing that the issue has something to do with an attack on GOTV itself, where Veena Malik seems to have been caught in the crossfire. But we'll get to that. Let me come across to Shamila Ghyas Ahmed. Shamila, you have covered the story. You have written about it. What are your thoughts on this entire controversy as a journalist?
I wrote a satire piece on it. I didn't cover it like a journalist.
Yeah.
I did a satire piece on it for Pakistan Times. The blasphemy law, I think, in Pakistan is the most abused and most zealously, done in Pakistan. I mean, there are blasphemy laws all over the world. They still exist to this day. We have them in Brazil. We have them everywhere. But nowhere is it practiced in Pakistan. And that too in Pakistan is just because it is used to settle scores.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have a person who, like Asia Bibi, you've heard about her, obviously.
Yes.
She supposedly she just drank a glass of water from a Muslim's cup, and she is behind bars 5 years. And she's probably going to be either rotting for the rest of her life, or she's going to be killed by someone, something, along those lines. So people just use this to settle scores in Pakistan, this blasphemy law. It has not. I don't think it has anything to do with religion itself. It's just to settle scores in Pakistan, the way it is done.
It is a sensitivity issue, isn't it? It seems like it's a sensitivity issue, and even unproven allegations incite mob violence. And your reading of the Asia Bibi, in fact, even the European Union has urged Pakistan to overhaul its blasphemy laws. Though no one has been killed, no one has been executed for blasphemy since 2008. However, like you said, they risk death. They risk violent attacks on their lives.
A lot of the times, before they can actually be executed, they've already been killed or burned alive, or just hacked to death by the people. The people do it before even they can get to the actual execution or the The guy, the judge who sentenced Mumtaz Qadri, I mean, you know about him, right? He murdered Salman Taseer. He's had to leave Pakistan because of safety issues.
Right. Okay, let's bring you that article that you had, written for Khabristan Times. We have that article with us and we would like to show it to our viewers of India Post Live also. Coming up on your screen, the article that Shamila Ghyas Ahmed has written. Okay, that's the article. I'm a good Muslim. I even exercise jinns. That article says that, we managed to interview a distraught Veena Malik, and she said, I'm a Muslim, I'm a very religious person, and I have even tried to exercise a Hindu jinn out of a poor 24-year-old unmarried girl. I actually exercise jinns and make them convert to Islam. Miss Veena Malik will appeal the sentence and hopes higher courts will realize that the people of Pakistan are complete buffoons and does change the verdict. Okay, that is what is there in that article, Shamila. It's interesting.
Again, that it's this article and not an, for the satire newspaper Khabristan Times. I'd like to mention that. This is actually based on a TV show that she did. It was a reality show called Safar.
Right.
This comment that I pointed out.
All right. What constitutes blasphemy really in Pakistan? What are the acts that could actually, like Khuldoon pointed out, the same people who have filed the case, they themselves have played that particular qawwali again and again. What exactly does one construe as blasphemy in Pakistan?
There was a case, I think a couple of years back, this man, he owned a shop and he was taking down posters from the wall. And one of them that he ripped had an ayat on it.
Okay.
So he was booked for blasphemy. There was another case this year when this policeman, they went up to a policeman and they started cursing him that you are so-and-so and you're and so-and-so. These people, they had a grievances with him. And the people were booked for blasphemy because the policeman's name was of someone important in our Islamic history. So they were booked for blasphemy, that how dare you insult that name, even though it was towards him. I mean, there was the case of Rimsha, the girl who had some issues, and she had supposedly, she used to pick up trash, burn paper and everything, and apparently she picked up a Quran verse that had been burnt, and she was put in jail for blasphemy, even though she was just a kid and, not
so
in the right.
Like
but
you
was
said,
it was, I'm sorry.
No, like you said, it seems to be like all about settling personal scores, and anything, any utterance, anything can be considered blasphemous, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Let me now come across to Mohsin Hijazi. Mohsin is a political commentator who joins us from Sharjah. Mohsin, your thoughts on this entire controversy that's doing the rounds. Is it because Veena Malik is involved that it has garnered so much of attention on social media?
Yeah, partly actually the main item girl is Veena Malik, but actually it has a deeper context and background, as Khuldoon pointed out. It is not a simple matter of blasphemy, and plus the same devotional song has been played in other morning shows as well, actually,
right.
With other actresses, like I think I have seen probably actress Noor and a few others on some other channels with the same devotional songs, same mock wedding. So actually it's part of the bigger game, and that's it.
I was just talking to Shamila about how the European Union has urged Pakistan to overhaul its blasphemy laws. In fact, many countries have pointed out that blasphemy laws are in fact being used to increasingly target minority groups like the Ahmadis, like the Christians. So what are your thoughts on that? Is there any campaign going on in the country, in social media, among journalists, to overhaul the blasphemy law at all? Because everybody seems to agree that, this particular case wasn't blasphemous at all. This particular action wasn't blasphemous at all. So what exactly is blasphemy and how can it be overhauled? Are you guys doing something about that?
Well, we are doing what we can. We can just raise the voice. But one thing, actually, you mentioned about minorities. So it is not about the minorities. Veena Malik is not a minority. Mir
Of
Shakilu
course.
Rahman is not a minority. Both
Yeah.
are not minorities.
Hmm.
And what is blasphemy? It's totally a judgment that is actually rest on, in certain hands. And this is actually both a very clever tool and a major safety valve as well as a last resort to tackle somebody or someone that cannot, be tackled other way, or like it's a kind of an instant solution, unfortunately. But like uh, people are raising their voice, but this is not that easy. This kind of thing roots, deep into the society,
It's deep-rooted,
and
huh?
it is actually the main thing is that you have these kind of laws in Europe as well, about like the respect for the religion and all that. But the thing is that it is the misuse that actually makes
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
thing more complicated.
So basically, clear guidelines about what blasphemy actually, involves. Now, basically, what I was talking about, the vulnerable minority groups is what is a concern that was raised by France, and this was, in the European Parliament that passed a non-binding resolution. So, but coming back to the larger issue that you raised, and I would like to bring in Khuldoon here. Khuldoon, the question that, we were talking about, the point we were raising right at the beginning, do you think this is actually an attack on GOTV? And this is not the first time that GOTV has been attacked, and Veena Malik has simply been caught in the crossfire?
Absolutely. I mean, there are two different discussions that we can have right now.
Yes, exactly.
The first is regarding the blasphemy law. I mean, that is a very pertinent issue, and Pakistan has really, really dark shades, but the blasphemy law and its misuse is probably the ugliest side of Pakistan. That's
Yes.
a separate issue. But this particular case is a direct attack on GOTV. And this all started in April when Hamid Mir was attacked.
Yes.
And GOTV, in the aftermath of that attack, immediately started a campaign against the DG ISI, accusing him. I mean, the official verdict was that Hamid Mir, had said that if he was attacked, he would lay the blame on DG ISI. That's when it started. And obviously, if you publicly accuse the ISI or anyone related to the establishment, if you do it on national TV, there's going to be a backlash. And that is precisely what happened. And since the direct rival was ARY, and I'm not going into the conspiracy theories, but in the immediate aftermath,
Right.
ARY, led by Mubashir Luqman, they launched a campaign, unyielding campaign against GOTV. And this blasphemy allegation was just another part of that campaign.
All right, that's I should say that's really tragic, but okay, that is a very interesting issue, of course, that you raised, and that is something, because they have also issued an apology. They issued an apology, the owners issued an apology, but the courts refused to take it. They refused to accept it, which clearly proves that there is a larger thing going on over here. It's not just about that Qawwali. It's not just about that mock wedding. Obviously, it's a larger conspiracy that has been hatched. All right, before I continue that with Khuldoon, let me just get you a video response that we've got from Amir Mughal, who is he's in fact a defense and security analyst, but this is what he had to say about the whole blasphemy issue that has been that has created the excitement in social media. Take a look.
The harvest we are reaping is our own making. The first strong step was the objective resolution, which segregated people on religious basis, and the second step was to encourage the religious narratives within the body politics of Pakistan and Pakistan's policy. Even foreign policy, we injected religion in our every sphere of life. For example, take this blasphemy law. This law, if these clerics would minutely search their own books, original books which were published earlier in undivided India, Nabil Kishore Press and Mushtabai Press Delhi, so numerous publication houses, they may found such narratives which I cannot even repeat here. So, and this blasphemy law, I won't discuss the merits or discuss the details of blasphemy law, but this law, which is being defended by these clerics, is also used by these very clerics against each other to declare each other apostate and pave the way to ruthlessly murder their rival opponents on sectarian grounds on using blasphemy law. As far as media is concerned, I won't appreciate the way Jung Group is being maligned and its owner is being maligned for blasphemy. But one thing, we must keep this in mind, that this very media house used this blasphemy law against Salman Taseer in a very worst possible way, which culminated in his tragic death. Therefore, I must appeal to all sane people to discuss this as to where we are going, because this is not good. Pakistani media, particularly Urdu media, is the one which encourages religious narratives in their day-to-day reporting.
All right, so not only does there need to be a complete overhaul of the blasphemy law, but the media also needs to take a very close look at itself and introspect. All right, of course, Khuldoon, another very interesting thing that I wanted to ask you is that, you know, this anti-terror court that issued the sentence is in the city of Gilgit. Gilgit is, in fact, what we call a Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and it is, you know, probably many people believe that the order is unlikely to be implemented at all because the region is not a full-fledged province of Pakistan, and the court here does not apply to the rest of Pakistan. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's true. I mean, there is noise coming that the law won't be implemented. But what we need to understand is that from 1986 till 2013, there were, I mean, 1,274 blasphemy accusations, and while no one was publicly executed, over 50 people were killed by mobs, and the rest who survived, I mean, they had to go in exile. Basically, everyone has suffered from blasphemy accusation. That is exactly what is unfortunately going to happen unless we change the blasphemy law. And I mean, that's something that needs to be pointed out. As Mohsin mentioned earlier, 29% of the global countries have blasphemy laws. I mean, European countries like Germany and Italy have blasphemy laws. India has a blasphemy law. In fact, Article 295 and 295A in the Pakistan Penal Code, that is the exact replica of the Indian Penal Code, because that is what we adopted after the partition. So 64% of the global population lives under blasphemy law. Why is Pakistan's blasphemy law misused? Because Article 295C and Article 295D, they are Islam specific. Indian blasphemy law does not discriminate between religions. German blasphemy law does not discriminate between religions, and hence it is a clause that is only supposed to be triggered in extreme cases. While after Zia incorporated the Islamic clauses in the 1980s, obviously the subplot of safeguarding Islam became an issue, and now that is why it is being used, because it has that Islam-specific clauses.
So those are the loopholes that are being exploited by hardliners. That's what you're saying, right?
Exactly.
All right, all right. Let me come back to Shamila. Shamila, we have a participation request from Kashmir. I will, go to him in a while. But before that, let me ask you. All of us agree that the blasphemy laws need to be changed, need to be looked at, and something needs to be done. So, you're sitting in Dubai. What do you think you can do to make this happen? Are you going to be blogging about it, a petition, online petition? What exactly do you think can happen? Because we all agree that it is only in Pakistan where there is such gross misuse of the blasphemy law.
I think the main thing, I mean, I do try to write about it as much as I can. I have a personal blog, and I rant a lot on Twitter and Facebook as well. I do try to do that. But I think the main thing that needs to be done is not just change the law, but is to change the mindset of the people in Pakistan as well. education about everything. And even this is very, very important. You need to change the mindset.
Right.
From day one, they're taught, from day one, they're taught to think a certain way. If that can be changed in schools and books and everything, it will make a huge difference. There's kids in school, when they go to school, they don't want to sit next to a non-Muslim because they think it's not allowed. And then we need education.
Education.
It's very
Right.
important to change the mindset.
That is always the answer to most of our problems, education. Thank you, Shamila. Let me now go across to Muhammad Mir. Muhammad Mir is a journalist, a freelance journalist from Kashmir. He's joining us online. Thank you so much, Muhammad Mir, for joining us once again.
Yeah, welcome.
Veena Malik is somebody all you men love to click, love to watch on the internet. Now she is embroiled herself in another controversy. Yeah, and so what are your thoughts on that? Of course, my Pakistani friends are very clear. They know that the blasphemy laws are being grossly misused, are being used to settle personal scores. And also the fact that this could be a larger campaign against GeoTV, and Veena Malik seems to be caught in the crossfire. What are your thoughts from Kashmir?
Well, when we talk of blasphemy laws and when we talk about the laws which are practiced in India and Pakistan, and especially in Pakistan, what I would say is that, I am not favoring Veena Malik, I'm not her advocate, but what I believe is that it's merely been a misuse of law. I would agree with Shamila here that the mindsets of people need to be illuminated, and and these laws need to be used properly. We need to understand that these laws are made decades back, and we need to grow up. We need to be educated by our minds, not necessarily by the kind of a certificate we have. And what I believe is that in this verdict, when we talk about Veena Malik's case, the law is being misused, and probably the verdict has been given to score personal scores, personal ratings. And the very important point I would like to mention here is that we need to see that who was the person to file
exactly.
the case against Veena.
Khuldun pointed that out. Yes, yes. Khuldun and Mohsin also pointed it out. Absolutely.
It was none other than a leader or a top class person, a top a leader of.
He's a hardline Sunni cleric, and he leads an anti-Shia organization.
It's a leader of Sipahi Sahaba, I believe.
Formerly, it was known as Sipahi Sahaba. Yeah.
What I would like to mention here is that we need to differentiate that which is which is the bad thing and what is the worst of that.
Right.
So if we get into we are letting him go, being involved into the killings of innocents on daily basis. And now when it comes to blasphemy, why can't we just have our minds open and be a little open-minded?
Right.
It's a choice. We're nobody to
okay,
to sentence her or give her any punishment.
Right. All right, Mohammed. Thank you. Let me now get you another video response that has come in from Abdullah Nizamini. Now, Abdullah is a lawyer, a Pakistan-based lawyer, and he gives us a certain legal perspective into the blasphemy law, which in fact Khuldun also mentioned. But Abdullah has sent us this video response. Let's take a quick look at it. Coming up on your screens now.
Originally, blasphemy provided 2 years of imprisonment, and later on in the era of General Zia in the 1980s, the law was amended and 2 more sections were inserted in the Pakistan Penal Code, which made the law as punishable with life imprisonment and death. Unfortunately, blasphemy has been misused in Pakistan by the clergy, by the hardline extremist for many times. Assassination of Governor Punjab Salman Taseer and Federal Minister Shehbaz Bhatti was part of this campaign which was launched to support the law. Ironically, the blasphemy killer of a blasphemer is celebrated, and in Pakistan they are treated as a national hero, they are treated as savior of Islam, which is an irony.
ironic that blasphemy laws have been misused, and he gave us the similar perspective to what Khuldoon said, that initially it was only a 2-year punishment, but it was only in the 80s that it became up to it went up to a life imprisonment or even death. All right, Mohsin, let me come back to you. Mohsin, do you think that Veena Malik and her husband and the owner of GeoTV, do you think any arrests will be made at all in this case? Mohsin, I can't hear you. I think you have to unmute your mic.
Yeah, so actually, I think there are a couple of reasons for which there would not be an action. For one thing, actually, the courts in Azad Kashmir are actually kind of different. So, like, their laws are, their actually verdicts are not. If it were a decision from, for example, Lahore High Court, the thing would have been much different probably. And the second thing is that the public sentiment is not that grave on that, because people know that, people are used to, people have seen that kind of thing on other morning shows as well. So there's not that much of an outrage here. So these are the two reasons probably. I don't think that there would be some things substantial there.
You don't think there would be any arrests?
From a point of view, of course, it's just an interesting case and how like powerful secret hands move their agenda.
Right. So basically, she has said that she would be filing, she would be appealing to a higher court. Do you think the case will die its natural death, or do you think, because again, like you said, it is in a province where there is a full-fledged control of Pakistan. The same laws that apply there do not apply to the rest of Pakistan.
Yeah, for one thing, but the other thing is that it is not about her at all. It is about Mir Shakil, and if there's a deal and if he's tamed and he's cut to size, the case would naturally be withdrawn gradually. There would be an excuse, okay, there's no evidence, blah, blah, or whatever. And then
all right. All right. Shamila talked of the only way to open people's minds is education. We are a group of sane people here, and we all believe that the blasphemy law is, being misused. And the fact that we need to educate people and change mindsets. How do you propose to do that in your country, Mohsin? How do you think it can be done in Pakistan?
Yeah, it's a generation-long process. Actually, right now, if you start talking about it, you'll be labeled for CIA, you'll be labeled for some other stuff. So it is a dangerous stunt to pull right now, but it'll take time.
It'll take time, but are you optimistic?
Something that is actually ingrained into the DNA of subcontinent, unfortunately. So it'll take time.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Mohsin. Let me take final comments from Shamila also. Shamila, final comments from you. Of course, we all agree that education is the only way out, and probably this case will not really go beyond what we've already seen. The fact that social media has reacted, public sentiment is in favor, and probably it is a larger issue of concern for the owners of GeoTV. Let me have your final comments before I wrap up the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything I want to say has been said already in the show. The mindset needs to change. The law needs to, seriously changed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if in a country like Pakistan it's possible to take it away completely. So that itself would be blasphemous. But but I think to change it would be the first thing, and to press charges against people who actually take, who wrongly accuse people, who are settling scores, and and maybe have the same law for everyone, like Khuldoon pointed out, like in India.
Right.
Things like that.
No, we've had our share too. We've had our share too. When Richard Gere kissed Shilpa Shetty, there was a huge furor by a lot of religious hardliner groups, who said that she has committed blasphemy, and one doesn't need to talk of Sania Mirza's skirts. So we have also been victims of such comments, in our country as well. So definitely a change in mindset is what is required. Mohammad Mir, final comments from you, please.
A change of mindset and understanding and illuminating minds with education is the only key.
The only way out.
The only way out. That is.
Are you fearing for Veena Malik's life?
Well, I don't. All of us know
Great.
that
She will continue to entertain all of us. All right, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you so much. Khuldoon, Khuldoon, final comments from you, please. Just sum it up all for me now.
All right. I think I'll focus my final comment on the blasphemy law. It's not safe for public figures to publicly condemn the blasphemy law. To say that the blasphemy law needs to be repealed. It's idealistic to expect them to say that. However, what can be done? There are two solutions, and they are from opposite extremes. Either you implement the blasphemy law of Saudi Arabia and Iran that has public beheadings, and so that everyone knows that there's going to be a fair trial, and if you are found guilty of insulting religious sentiments of Muslims, then you will be publicly beheaded. That's one extreme. That solution lies in the 7th century.
The fair trial bit I have a problem with.
Exactly, and the other solution is that you basically apply the law equally to all religions. I mean, there are people who are saying that the capital punishment for blasphemy needs to be curtailed. Again, but publicly saying that is not safe. What can be done is that we can launch a campaign saying that the law should equally apply to all religions. Even the hardliners, even the Islamists, even the religious fundamentalists would have, even though they would not like it, they would still have a problem saying no to the law applying equally to all religions, even if that includes capital punishment. It's all pretty idealistic, but again, that's the only way we can work things out.
Great. Thank you so much, Khuldoon. And I would like to thank all my guests for joining us. But before we wrap up, let's please end the show on a slightly lighter note. You all saw those tweets that were doing the rounds, social media tweets. There are other platforms on social media too, where this entire issue of Veena Malik and her embroilment in a blasphemy law has, created a lot of buzz. So let me end the show on a lighter note by bringing you some hilarious jokes that are doing the rounds on social media. Thanks all of you. But before I say bye-bye, let's take a look at some of those jokes that are doing the rounds on social media. Okay, there you have it. Veena Malik gets 26 years in jail for bad acting. Could Veena Malik split her sentence 50-50 with Anu Malik? Okay, these are all doing the rounds on various websites. If Veena Malik is jailed, you'll only see her in Bigg Boss season 2040. Blasphemy is most searched word on Google today. Veena Malik sentenced to 26 years in jail, but can she go to Interstellar and spend 4 hours on Saturn, which is more or less 26 years on Earth? India bans Comedy Central for 6 days. To outdo us, Pakistan bans Veena Malik for 26 years. So very competitive. Veena Malik sentenced to 26 years in jail. Ashmit Patel is currently Googling what blasphemy means, hoping it has nothing to do with him. Alright, so these are some jokes that are doing the rounds on various websites. There are memes, there are WhatsApp comments, there are websites inundated with comments on Veena Malik. Alright, so we'll wrap up the show with that. I would like to thank all my online guests. Shamila Ghias Ahmed from Dubai, who is a writer and a blogger. Khuldoon Kumar Shahid, web editor of The Nation, who joined us from Lahore. Mohsin, who joined us from Sharjah, a political commentator. Mohammad Mir, who joined us from Kashmir. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us on the show. Thanks all of you for watching. Please send us your views, your comments, your posts and your tweets at India Post Live. We will look forward to reading them. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.